What's going on, guys? Chad here with Greenlight Shooting. Welcome back to another video. This mic setup, I don't know, I'm playing around with it. I'm trying to figure out a way to streamline this whole process so that I can get more videos out to you guys, make it more of a one-man band, sort of streamlined process. We're in the process though, so this may change, I don't know, but that's the deal with this mic. Anyways, today we're talking long guns, man. So I made a video not too long ago about handguns, what handguns I own and what I think of them now, and it got a pretty good response. A lot of you guys commented asking to see a long gun version of it, and to be honest, I don't own that many long guns, so I wasn't gonna do a video, but what the heck, man, let's go through them. Let's get down to it. Before we do though, I want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Hohn Health, and we'll go through that just a little bit later in the video, but for now, let's dive straight in. So this is the very first long gun that I ever bought. This is a Mossberg 500 12 gauge shotgun. And you know, yeah, it's a Mossberg 500. There's nothing that crazy about it. It's just the first one that it's just the first long gun I ever bought. So it's got kind of a special place in my heart. Obviously you can see I threw this stock on here. I believe this is by a company called ATI. It comes with a little grip right here. Everything's kind of rubberized. It feels real good. Got a lot of padding in the back here. Somewhat of an adjustable cheek rest. But otherwise, it's your basic stock Mossberg 500 setup. So nothing too crazy there. I picked it up originally sort of as a home defense weapon. Eventually it turned into... I picked it up originally as like a home defense weapon, and then it sort of evolved into wanting to create like a tactical project out of it, right? I wanted to make like a proper tactical shotgun, which is why I threw the stock on there. I wanted to throw like a sight. I wanted the whole, you know, the foregrip here, like the whole thing. I kind of fell off it, obviously, but originally, like I said, it was intended sort of just as a home defense thing, as well as I enjoyed shooting shotguns. So that's the first thing I ever picked up. I still like it. I don't really shoot it much. It mostly just sits in my safe. That being said, because it's a Mossberg 500, I know that I can pull it out at any time and it's gonna work. This thing is, it's a tank, right? Like you can't, this thing, yeah. It'll last forever. So anyways, I'm still stoked on it. And that's all I've got for that one. Let's move on. So this next one's a little bit tricky. This is the very first AR that I ever built. And I actually had a series on YouTube building this AR, not this specific one. Little sidebar, I had like a very basic lower parts kit, lower everything on here. This lower eventually got switched out for one by Blackout Defense. I would like to do a full review on this thing at some point because it's an extremely high-end lower now with their zero trigger. I did a video on that zero trigger as well. So it didn't look like this when I built it. This is a significantly higher quality lower than what I built. But yeah, the rest of it I built as my very first AR and I loved it. I loved that video series too because I used like all Harbor Freight tools. Like I wanted to do it as just down and dirty as possible and I built it and I was happy with the quality of it. But of course YouTube made me take that series down, whatever. Like I said, this is the Blackout Defense lower complete with their zero trigger. It's just, I mean, it's a dream of a lower. Moving up to the upper here, I've got a Sharps bolt in here. I originally had a Bravo company bolt. Sharps sent this thing out for review. I threw it in and just kind of never took it out. I've been pretty happy with it. And then this guy, this is a Unique AR's handguard. I'm pretty sure I did a video on this like years and years and years ago. You can see there's playing card designs built into this handguard and it's just such a cool, unique design. One of my favorite handguards, if not my favorite handguard of all time. The only problem is it's super freaking heavy. But otherwise, I think it's the best looking AR handguard just because of how unique and cool it is. They had a bunch of different designs, by the way. I don't remember what brand of barrel or anything. I do remember it's a 20-inch barrel because I wanted something that I could shoot kind of out to distance. I didn't want like a super close range AR for my first build. So it's got a long barrel on it. I know that for sure. In the original lower build, I did put a Geisley 2-stage trigger in it for that reason as well. This zero trigger is absolutely incredible. It's kind of sixes. It's just kind of personal preference at that point. Once you get to that quality of trigger, they're all so good. But this is probably my favorite trigger I've ever shot. And then up here, I've just got a P series, a super cheap, I think this is like the 223, P223 from Nikon scope. And like I said, this is my first build, so I didn't want to like spend a ton of money on it. I think all in on the build at the time, I might have spent like $1,000, and most of that was on the Geisley trigger, the Bravo bolt, and whatever kind of barrel that was. Yeah. And then obviously this scope was, I don't know, like $200 maybe or something like that. So this is kind of how it's sitting right now. I would definitely like to throw a different optic up here now that I've got this Blackout Defense lower. I can kind of reuse this thing. It's just like, I don't know, it's such a heavy guard and 20-inch barrel. I almost feel like it has to be bipoded or something. Like, it's just not realistic for any sort of movement for extended periods of time anyways. But yeah, man, that's the second rifle. Third is this cute little guy, which is the Tipman Arms M422. Is that what it's called? M422 by Tipman Arms. But yeah, I did a video on this a long time ago when they sent it out as well. But it's a really cool setup. It's a cool setup in the sense that, like, I don't know if you're familiar with 22 LR ARs. A lot of them are just sort of a facade. It's almost like there's a 10-22 rifle in there and they put a bunch of AR fixtures around it. This one is like a proper working AR, and that's my favorite part about it. It's got an actual stock, it's got an actual grip, it's got lower parts kits, it's got your safe semi-switch, it's got a mag drop, it's got a bolt catch, it's got a forward assist, it's got these pop-up sights, you know what I mean? Like, it's an actual working AR that just happens to be chambered in 22. So number one, it's cheap and it's fun to shoot. But number two, if I'm training someone, especially someone who's like really kind of apprehensive about getting into firearms, this is a great place to start for them if they want to get into ARs, because they can learn the platform. They can learn where all these different buttons are, how the thing functions, how to drop your mag, how to put in the mag, how to drop a bolt. All those things work. So when they get used to this and then they transition over to a real working 223, they have all of that knowledge already there. It's not like those other plastic ones where these buttons aren't real and there's no safe switch and there's no working charging handle. This thing is a full-on AR, and that's my favorite part about it, is especially as a training tool for new shooters. So let's pause right there. Those are the first three. The next two rifles coming up are my favorite of my whole collection. But before we get into that, as I said, this video is brought to you today by Hohn Health. So thank you so much for sponsoring the channel, Hohn Health. These guys are killing the game, man. They're completely changing how we think about testosterone levels. So before we get too deep into this, just know, obviously, I am not a medical professional, and this is not medical advice. That being said, Hohn Health is doing a great service for men like us. So it's no secret testosterone levels have been declining over generations. And, our father's generations, our grandfather's generations have had significantly more, as much as up to 25% more testosterone than us. And obviously, as we get older, that testosterone's going down. So for me personally, I'm noticing things, man. I'm noticing I can't bounce back as fast on things as I used to. I can't stay focused as long as I used to. And I'm really big into fitness and getting into the gym. And you can definitely see, I can definitely notice as I get older that things are harder for me in the gym than they used to. Like recovery, like the energy to show up every day, like just so many things that go along with it. And oftentimes we think about testosterone in this sense that it's just a sex drive hormone, right? And of course there is that libido factor, but there's a lot more that comes along with it. And testosterone can affect everything from our mood to our energy to our focus to so many more things. And it's no secret that as we age, our testosterone levels decrease. Testosterone supplements are nothing new, but the way that Hohn Health is doing it is new. These guys have brought it to the modern era. A box shows up at your door, open that up. There's a couple things in there, one of which is something where you can prick your finger, and you just have to have just a little bit of blood, just a drop or two of blood. You throw that on a piece of paper, send this thing back in, and then you'll have an actual video consult with a real doctor. And that doctor will analyze your blood results and tell you you're high here and low here and whatever else. And this is how you can get feeling better, is by taking certain supplements. Then the people over at Hohn Health take that information. They create a custom supplement plan based on that doctor's recommendations. These things include FDA approved medications, and then they send that all to you monthly. So it's pretty incredible, man. I love the fact that they are modernizing this whole process, making it super simple and easy to feel better. And best of all is the price. This thing is $45 to get going. You spend $45, you get that box sent to you, you send back your blood work, you have the consult with the doctor, and that's all included in that $45. It's a pretty killer deal. So if you want to figure out how to start feeling better, if you're like me, if you're starting to notice some of these things decreasing and you want to get back up on your A game, check out that link down in the description below and give Hohn Health a try. All right, we've got 2 rifles left, and this one is by far my favorite. So I also did a video building this one out. Of course, YouTube made me take that down, but this thing has also kind of come a long way since then. This was a build from the ground up. This is a Flawless Firearms lower. We've got a Geisley single stage trigger in there. I've got an SB tactical brace here. I don't remember what kind of grip this is. It's a really comfortable grip. It's just a Hogue grip. Yeah, I've got a really comfortable Hogue grip on here. So that's pretty much it for the lower. On the upper here, I've got a Bravo bolt. If you guys remember in that first AR build, I said I swapped out my Bravo bolt for a Sharps bolt. Well, this is where that Bravo bolt went. So Bravo in here. I don't remember what kind of barrel, maybe Rainier. I'm not sure. It's like an 11.5-inch barrel. The handguard, I'm pretty sure, is a Faxon handguard. Really, really cool looking. This is my favorite, like shorty handguard for sure. And then up here on the front, I've got a Noveski Pig, and it's just like it's functional for sure, but it also just looked really cool being on the end there. So that's kind of the actual like build of this thing. Now, as far as accessories, on the bottom here, I've got a Timber Creek. I don't even know what they call this grip, but I like it because I just put my pinky in there, boom, and then I set up. I can't throw a vertical grip on here, obviously, so this is kind of my solution, and it's just, man, I love it. I think it feels so good. Also, the FDE in the black is, I mean, I'm just a big fan of how this rifle looks. Up here on the front for the light, I've got a Magnatech light. I did a little sponsored spot for these guys at some point. Basically, they have their light right here and then comes off, and it's got like a magnet mount. Really, really cool setup. Like, you know, whatever, you're clearing a room, throw this on, throw it back on your rifle, and those magnets are so strong that it just kind of sucks it into place, and really, really secure. So one of my favorite things about that. Up here on the optics, I originally had an EOTech 512. I swapped this Sightmark M-Spec up here. I'm a fan of this optic personally. Like, there's a lot of people that kind of talk bad about Sightmark or whatever. And like, I don't know, if you're, you know, overseas or whatever, you're going through the elements, you're putting your life on the line, like for sure, like spend the money, get whatever you want. But for me, who just goes shooting on the weekend and has fun and makes videos about it, like, this thing's never let me down. It's always held at 0. It's always been dead on. It's always just been like, it works. So I'm happy with it. Then also I have this Sightmark magnifier, this like quick detach. So it's got a little quick detach back here, throw that up. So I can be right here with 0 magnification, toss that up and get, I don't know even what it is, maybe like a 4 magnification or something like that. But yeah, this is kind of the dream close quartersy super mobile AR that I always wanted to build, and I couldn't be happier with it, man. This thing is an absolute beast. I love this trigger. I love everything about it. 0 malfunctions, man. This thing is just an absolute beast. And to be honest, I didn't spend that much building it. I want to say I spent maybe like $1,300 building it. That's without the accessories and stuff. And I guess I had the bolt. So, I mean, whatever, you're like $1,500 or something for the rifle itself plus accessories. So it's not like a super, super expensive gun for the build. But I love this thing. And it's also a showstopper in terms of the looks. Come on. All right, last but not least is this monster here. How do I do this? This is the downside about this mic. I feel like this mic is just like slowly dropping throughout the video because I have to keep like raising it back up. We got to figure out something better next video. This is the Tikka TAC A1 chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. This is my long range rifle. I don't know, maybe like a 26-inch barrel. I'm not really sure. I can't really remember. It's just a stock Tikka though. I threw this bipod on, which is a pretty cheap Amazon bipod. Right now I have a Vortex Viper up on top. We'll talk about that in just a second. But let's talk about this Tikka. So I wanted something long range. I was originally going to go with like a 308 caliber until someone talked me out of it. And they said, listen, man, if you're serious, go with the 6.5. So I went with the 6.5 and have never looked back. It's such an incredible round. It's old news by now, but at the time it was still kind of up in the air. So 6.5 it's an incredible round. I've been very, very happy with it. Seiko, if you're familiar with them, or maybe it's Sako. I don't really know how it's pronounced. It's S-A-K-O. I say Seiko, but same family as this. The Tikka is just kind of like the little brother or whatever. But this is such a good long range rifle. The Seikos are like world class, and this is just kind of a step below that. These things are incredible. They far exceed my skill level, and that's what I wanted. Something that I could really grow into. Big fan of it, man. The grip is nice. It's got a lot of texture. It's got good grooves for my fingers. The trigger is obviously super, super clean. I wanted something that didn't look like a deer hunting rifle. You know, I wanted something that looked tactical, that kind of had that vibe to it. I like how this has that handguard feel to it, so I can mount accessories. Up on top here, we've got a pick rail all the way down so I can mount different things. This stock is super adjustable. And overall, it's just a really, really great firing, low recoil weapon. Up on top, we've got a Vortex Viper. The only reason this is on here is because Vortex, along with another brand I'm doing a video for. So this isn't normally what lives on here. Normally, I have this gigantic Crimson Trace. I did a video on this scope. This is a 3-24 by 56. This thing is a monster. I've shot out to 1,000 yards with it, which was really fun. I put it up next to a Night Force scope, and you know, it holds its own. It's first focal plane. It's Japanese glass. It's just a really, really well-made scope. It's really pricey, but I was lucky to, you know, have that one sent out for a video and be able to hang on to that one. And that one has kind of spoiled me for a lot of scopes. So that's what I'm normally shooting at with this Tikka. And together with the 6.5 round, my goodness, is it a killer long range setup. So anyways, that's all I've got for you guys. I think that was maybe only like 5 long guns. Like I said, I don't have that many. I've had a couple more along the way that I've either sold or, you know, traded or whatever. And these are the ones that have stuck with me, and they stuck with me for a reason, because I think they have a pretty good rounded out collection, I guess. You know, I've got the long range that I shoot almost every time I go to the range and have time, for sure. I've got the CQB style AR. I've got the longer range AR. I've got the 22 AR to help train people to just plink around with, just as a good learning tool for new people, whatever. And then I've got a shotgun in 12 gauge. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll grow more as we go, but for now, I'm really happy with this collection. So anyways, that's all I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you were down for the ride. Check out that Hohn Health stuff if that spoke to you. I've got that link down in the description below. And otherwise, man, I will catch you next time on Greenlight Shooting. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.